Apple, the tech giant known for innovation, has a secretive relationship with China. But what if this partnership isn't just about business? What if there's a hidden agenda at play? Stay with this segment, and you will see how the dots are connected.
There's a confusion about China. The popular conception is that companies come to China because of low labor cost. That is not the reason to come to China from a supply point of view.
In the late 1990s, Apple was on the brink of bankruptcy. Seeking a lifeline, the company made a pivotal decision to outsource its manufacturing to China. This move was not merely about cost-cutting. It was a strategic alliance with a burgeoning economic powerhouse. Partnering with Foxconn, Apple tapped into China's vast labor force and efficient production capabilities. Foxconn's Longhua facility in Shenzhen became the heartbeat of iPhone manufacturing, employing hundreds of thousands of workers under rigorous conditions. Despite the low wages, averaging $1 to $2 per hour, Foxconn's workforce was integral to Apple's ability to meet the soaring global demand for its products. From 2010 to 2015, Apple's revenue in China skyrocketed, peaking at $58.7 billion in 2015, accounting for 25% of its total revenue. This surge was fueled by Apple's strategic investments, including over $275 billion poured into the Chinese economy, fostering a symbiotic relationship with the Chinese government. Understanding the importance of cultural resonance, Apple localized its products for the Chinese market. This included integrating Chinese language options, adapting app content, and incorporating culturally relevant features, thereby enhancing user experience and brand loyalty. Apple's success was also attributed to its strategic alliances with Chinese authorities. By aligning its operations with government policies, Apple secured favorable conditions for its business endeavors in the region. These alliances not only facilitated Apple's market penetration, but also positioned the company as a key player in China's technological ascent. China's Great Firewall is one of the most sophisticated censorship systems globally, restricting access to foreign websites and applications. To operate within China, companies like Apple must navigate this complex landscape. In 2017, Apple removed several VPN apps from its Chinese App Store, including ExpressVPN and ViperVPN. These apps allowed users to bypass the Great Firewall, accessing content otherwise restricted in China.
Some complexities dealing with business in any foreign country, because you're dealing with different laws and regulations.
Apple's decision sparked international criticism, with many questioning the company's commitment to user privacy and freedom of expression. Beyond VPNs, Apple has removed other apps from its Chinese App Store at the behest of the Chinese government. In 2024, apps like WhatsApp, Threads, Signal, and Telegram were taken down due to national security concerns. Apple's compliance with China's censorship laws has raised ethical questions. Critics argue that by adhering to these regulations, Apple compromises its values of free expression and user privacy. Apple's actions in China may set a precedent for other countries with stringent censorship laws. The company's decisions could influence how tech giants operate in repressive regimes. Apple's censorship dilemma underscores the complexities tech companies face in global operations. Balancing compliance with local laws and upholding ethical standards remains a contentious issue. Behind every sleek device lies a complex supply chain, often shrouded in controversy. Allegations of forced labor have cast a shadow over Apple's commitment to ethical manufacturing. Foxconn, Apple's primary manufacturing partner, has faced multiple allegations of labor violations. Reports from 2023 revealed that workers at the Zhengzhou facility were subjected to over 100 hours of overtime per month, exceeding China's legal limits. Additionally, the use of temporary dispatch workers and student labor during peak seasons raised concerns about compliance with Chinese labor laws. These practices have led to scrutiny from labor rights organizations and calls for greater accountability in Apple's supply chain. Lens Technology, a key supplier for Apple's iPhone glass, has been accused of employing forced labor. Documents uncovered by human rights groups suggest that the company utilized forced Muslim labor from China's Xinjiang region, raising serious ethical concerns. Apple has denied these allegations, asserting a zero-tolerance policy for forced labor and conducting regular audits to ensure compliance. In November 2020, over 1,000 workers protested outside a Foxconn plant in Chengdu, demanding better working conditions and fair treatment. The protests highlighted the growing discontent among workers and the challenges Apple faces in managing its supply chain. These events underscored the need for greater transparency and ethical practices in Apple's global operations. Apple has pledged to combat forced labor in its supply chain. In its 2022 statement, the company outlined efforts to eradicate human trafficking and slavery, emphasizing respect for human rights across its global operations. Despite these commitments, critics argue that Apple's actions have not fully addressed the systemic issues within its supply chain. The allegations against Apple reflect broader concerns about labor rights in global supply chains. While the company has taken steps to improve conditions, the persistent issues raise questions about the effectiveness of corporate social responsibility initiatives. As consumers and stakeholders demand greater accountability, Apple faces pressure to ensure that its products are produced ethically and sustainably. Apple's journey in China has been marked by strategic alliances that have significantly influenced its operations and market presence.
You know, we've been there for 30 plus years. And from a geopolitical point of view, my focus has always been on engagement.
Since the late 1990s, Apple has partnered with Foxconn, a Taiwanese company, to assemble its products in China. This collaboration has been pivotal in Apple's ability to scale production rapidly and meet global demand. Apple has invested over $275 billion in China since 2015, contributing to the country's technological advancement. These investments have facilitated Apple's access to a vast consumer base and a robust supply chain. Operating in China requires compliance with local laws and regulations, including data localization and censorship requirements. Apple has had to adapt its services to align with these policies. In 2025, Apple announced a partnership with Alibaba to develop AI features for iPhones sold in China. This collaboration aims to enhance Apple's competitiveness in the Chinese market. Apple's strategic alliances in China have provided access to a vast market and advanced technology. However, these partnerships also come with challenges, including navigating complex regulations and balancing corporate values with local policies. Apple's journey is a testament to the power of global integration. From its humble beginnings in Cupertino, California, the company has expanded its reach to every corner of the globe. Central to this expansion is China, a nation that has become both a cornerstone and a conundrum for Apple's operations. China is not just a market. It's the backbone of Apple's supply chain. The country houses over 1.3 million Foxconn employees, Apple's largest manufacturing partner, and contributes significantly to the company's production capabilities. Since 2015, Apple has invested over $275 billion in China, contributing to the country's technological advancement. These investments have facilitated Apple's access to a vast consumer base and a robust supply chain. Despite its economic contributions, Apple's operations in China have faced global scrutiny. Allegations of forced labor, censorship compliance, and human rights violations have raised ethical questions about the company's practices. In response to geopolitical tensions, Apple has begun shifting parts of its production to countries like India. However, this transition is fraught with challenges, including the need to replicate China's manufacturing capabilities and navigate new regulatory environments. Apple's journey in China underscores the complexities of global business operations. As the company navigates ethical, economic, and geopolitical challenges, its future will depend on balancing innovation with responsibility. Apple's hidden agenda with China raises questions about corporate responsibility and ethical practices. What do you think? Is Apple's success worth the cost? Share this video, subscribe for more insights, and let us know your thoughts in the comments below.